All right, and welcome back to the broadcast. Dr. Catherine is here, set for that great conversation. I think it will be off if we're not going to begin with the protest that was staged in the country today across different cities by female activists, but also, men who joined as well. This conversation of saying that we need to stop the numerous femicide cases that are playing out in the country, of course, alive to the fact that as well, men are losing their lives, in mysterious ways. Dr. What do you make of the cases that we've witnessed recently and the protests, the peaceful ones for that matter, today?
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. You're doing an amazing job. So for me, I think it is sad that we've lost lives of women who I know they were also pursuing their dreams, their careers, but it has happened. So it is a wake-up call that this gender-based violence should be condemned to the strongest term, so that we all live peacefully in this country, as we all need each other to have a healthier country.
Well, that is well accepted. Thank you so much for your contribution on the same. And here we are, just let us not assume that most of the people know you, in as much as we know that, well, at this stage, majority of people in the country must know who Dr. Catherine Nyongesa is. But briefly, her say is basically about, these women who've done great, in these respective spaces, and we have to appreciate at this very point, just who is Dr. Catherine Nyongesa away from the lab coat?
Yes, Dr. Catherine is just an ordinary person, just like you and me. And I am a mother, a wife, an entrepreneur, a businesswoman. I'm a leader. So I wear so many hats, and I thank God for giving me this opportunity to be in this kind of space. Yeah. All
right, so to your profession, briefly, and perhaps not so much so the action itself, just how is it that you found yourself into this space and, ending up to being a radiation oncologist? So
I think it began as a medical student. I became a caregiver to a cancer patient who happened to be my sister.
Oh.
Yes, so through that journey, trying to balance between education, I was at University of Nairobi. And it wasn't easy, and I said, one day, when I finish my undergraduate, my medical school, I would like to be a doctor and probably an oncologist, seeing what my sister went through, the suffering, going through chemotherapy session. And also, when I was going to Form 1, maybe back before now, the University of Nairobi, I remember my dad escorting me to school with a big box, those Mabati boxes.
Right.
And he told me that, Mom, I want you to study very hard to become a doctor. And that also stuck in my mind. So now becoming a doctor, and now here you are a caregiver to a cancer patient, it all started things, little pieces adding up together. And when I came to University of Nairobi, I completed my studies, went to do internship in Kakamega, and then my friends called me back to come to Nairobi. And when I was in Nairobi, I had to see around what I can do, and I ended up working in a cancer center, seeing what happens, the pain and suffering patients who are going through. And at that time, there were not many female oncologists. In fact, in that department, there were only men. So that was okay, I think I can do it. And by consulting and being encouraged, now that is the time I went to specialize in cancer treatment after being in the department for 3 to 4 years, just trying to observe what happens there.
Right.
I got a scholarship through the International Atomic Energy Agency to go and study at the University of Witwatersrand in South Africa. And that's how I ended up doing my M.Med in oncology. From there, I came back to Kenyatta National Hospital, and I'm really grateful to the International Atomic Energy for making that happen, because my parents would not have afforded that kind of school fees in South Africa.
Okay, maybe just getting you back to the story of your sister, briefly, it could either have been a positive or a negative story. And I've had very many people say that they have gotten into medicine because, well, their relatives were experiencing tough times and therefore they thought they'd want to come and give service to the people who could be fairly also having such tough times. Was yours a positive, and or a negative, and such that you would say, well, maybe my sister got healed and therefore I think it's also time that I extend this, or maybe, well, she did not manage and therefore it's unfortunate and we need to get to this space and make a change?
So fortunately, she made it.
Oh.
Yes, she was suffering from a rare kind of cancer. It affects young women. It's called choriocarcinoma. And with choriocarcinoma, you get a pregnancy, but instead of forming a fetus, a live fetus, it forms a mole. So this mole multiplies inside your womb, and then you start bleeding. Then for her, it had even spread to the lungs, so it was stage 4. But it's treatable. So I think it is good for women who are going through this kind of problem, especially abnormal bleeding, vomiting. You have signs of pregnancy, but they are just excess. Yeah, one needs to be screened for choriocarcinoma, but it's one of the most curable cancers. So she's lucky, she made it, went through all the side effects of chemotherapy, but she's alive up to now, and we thank God for it. And she actually motivated me even more that a cancer patient can survive, and that has pushed me to venture into that field. And I'm also grateful that many men and women and children have been treated, and I've witnessed their treatment. I've been through their journey of treatment, and they are doing well.
What would be your rating for the cases of survival in the country, those ones that are watching you tonight, the Ostomates story that we have just carried today? I mean, what would you tell them today in terms of, bringing that aspect of hope, especially to the cancer patients, those ones that are caregivers, those ones that are family members that are aligned to them?
I think it takes a village to take care of a cancer patient, and those who are going through this journey, just to know that there is always hope, because some have been treated and been cured. And even if the cancer is not curable, just know that you can support and improve their quality of life, free of pain and suffering, and through treatment, it is possible. Yeah.
Beyond your sister's story, could you perhaps be having, one patient story that has had a significant impact in your life, in your journey, in your approach to work?
Yes, actually these patients, they are like my friends. We have the Uwezo Cancer Support Group. These are cancer survivors. Most of the time they are women who are in that group, but they've gone through this treatment and they are healed, and they are like now ambassadors. I think one particular one is Esther Nzoli. She's a cervical cancer survivor, was diagnosed close to 10 years ago, and the cancer came back like 2 years later. It was stage 4, but she's gone through treatment. And I remember the time she was going through treatment, she was like, Daktari, I just want to witness my last born do class 8, finish, get to high school. And she's lived to see the girl go through class 8. She passed very well, close to 400 marks. Wow. She went to high school, and now she's going to university. So you can imagine that those are kind of positive stories that keep me going.
But what is this that gets people looking at cancer as though it's a death sentence? Because by the time you're going to give yourself timelines that have not even been given by the doctor, that I just want to see her get to this level and to this level, and that will be perhaps more than enough for me.
I think it is human nature. As a mother, you always want that, please God, give me today, tomorrow, always to see your kids. When the baby is like crawling, you're like, I want to watch when he's like 5 years and all that. So cancer is not like the end of the road. Yeah, there's life beyond cancer, and we just encourage them that it is God. The doctor treats, but God heals.
That's true.
And He's healed many, though we know we've lost others through the journey, but it is all in God's hand, but always be positive. Take the doctor's advice, go through your medication, join a support group, get a counselor, go to church, and all these people can support you for you to recover.
All right, and here you are, Daktari, of course, with the privilege of education, if one wants to look at it that way. But you have gotten into a space that is male-dominated. You are gotten into a space where you're becoming a first. You are breaking the ceiling. Just how was it like? You experienced the challenges that maybe you faced and you continue to face, and just how are you managing?
It is not easy. It's always the highs and the lows. Life is full of turbulence in this male-dominated field. Though I think I was lucky, or I'm glad that I got a lot of support with the males that have been working around them. I've not faced any discrimination. The best thing is that they look at your effort. If you are given a clinic to run and you put all that you have, you go in, see the patients, just like the male doctors are doing, and even you can even do better than them. You go beyond, you go an extra mile, you give it 110%. You find doors just open for you. And just being passionate on what you do. If you are going to class, you're going to your master's class, you also really dedicate your time to it. Because when I was in South Africa, most of my classmates, the black were men. And still I tried my level best. So it's all about your hard work, determination, and not thinking that you are just a woman in that class. You are a student.
Yeah.
And so whether you're a man or woman, you're a student, and just put in all your efforts, and the sky is the limit.
All right. The Texas Center. Incredible story, beautiful story.
Thank you.
A story that continues to grow as we watch it grow. What would you say of this baby? That is now old anyway.
I know the baby is now 14 years old. We thank God for how far we've gone.
Right.
Thank you. I always believe that when you do something, God has given us two hands. One hand is to help yourself, another one is to reach out to help someone else. So the center came into effect to try and bridge that care gap that cancer patients were facing. Get timely treatment, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, for example, and even that oncological advice. And we always dream big. As a young girl, I always dreamed that when I grow up, I want to become like a doctor. So for Texas, the name really comes from one of the biggest cancer centers in America. And we always hope that the center can grow to be one of the biggest in the country in terms of offering compassionate cancer care to cancer patients. Yes.
How well has it been received, of course, by the masses, by the persons who really require some of these services from this space, as well as maybe the government support and all that?
I would say for government, I think they've given us a peaceful environment. You know, for you to run any business or any entrepreneurship, you must be in a peaceful country, peaceful environment, and I'm happy already it's an enabling environment. The regulatory bodies like the Medical Dentist Council, you have the National Cancer Institute, they're all in support of such kind of enterprises. And then when you also look at the National Hospital Insurance Fund, it has been supporting cancer patients, and they don't discriminate whether it's a private facility or government. So I'm appreciative in that space. And then funding has mainly come from banks. We have had Bank of Africa and Equity Bank just supporting and funding that enterprise. And it has been received very well. I remember the first time I was approaching our first bank that funded the project, I told them this is like a public-private partnership. It's like social it's a social enterprise, and just believe in me to make this dream come true, and they came through very well. So, and the members of the public have also received it well, and we are grateful to God. I think what matters is try to give your level best in whatever you do, and people will just come.
Most of the women we have seen in the country and beyond that have been in spaces like yours, spaces of being fast and all that, have landed into the political world. Do you see yourself landing there? Have you already done that for the benefit of the people who are watching you tonight?
Okay, never say never.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, in life we are in a path, and some things are like destiny. You don't know about tomorrow. But for me, I've been in the public sector for quite some time,
right,
and I've served in public capacity, and I'm very grateful because the government gave me that opportunity. So I have had the feeling of really reaching out and serving the public on a big scale. So it's not just about politics, but I think in the health space, and the dockets I've held,
yeah,
I think have been quite inspiring, and I'm more or less satisfied with that, and I'm not thinking of venturing into politics in the near future.
Okay, well, I want us to take a quick short break, and we are perhaps excited to know just what plays out in your personal space, in your social space, because if you follow her, you will realize that she's always out here serving people, doing this and that. If she's not on a TV station speaking about how we can take care of, the cancer patients in the country, she's perhaps in some hospital, she's at the Texas and all that. Does she get to have her special, time and space for family and all that? And how does she get to unwind after a short break? Yes, Dr. Catherine Nyongesa is a guest on Her Say tonight. Dr. Ari, just how do you get to unwind and relax, if you ever?
Well, yeah. Thank you so much. So I do unwind because I go through difficult situations in life, just like any other woman. Family, balancing family and work, it's not easy. Yeah, you go through heartbreaks, but I try to unwind. Number one, I keep my sisters very close. Like I keep, you know, you
How
vent.
many do you have?
We are a family of 10, 4 girls, 6 boys.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So the older ones, I try to vent to them just to release some of the stresses I have.
Yeah.
I also listen to music a lot.
Nice.
Yeah. I dance when I'm alone.
When you're alone, you should do it.
Or with my children.
Or with your children.
Yes.
They tell you you're a bad dancer, that's why you dance with
Sometimes, you know, when you want to unwind, you know, you blast your music.
You don't trust your skills that you would just decide if you put music here, would you?
I would, no. I don't trust my skills nowadays, especially as I'm growing older. But when I was younger, yes, I had good skills. So music is on top. I take off, go holiday with the family.
Right.
And many weekends I'm actually in Shags, Western, with my chicken.
Okay. Farming?
And the cows. So but I spend more time with my chicken, like just watching them flying around. Yes.
Where there is cuckoo.
I also am a farmer, so I get away, just try to get into farming to see. I plant my sukumas there, you know. Nice. Yeah. So basically that is what I do to unwind and just talking to friends. But yeah, you know, you also, when you are too busy, you don't have many friends to talk to. Right. So that's what is happening.
Are there times you feel like there's some, you know, some responsibilities that you kind of by default neglect and maybe it breaks your heart? Like today with this CBC kind of thing and perhaps just that need for parents to engage and to be present in the lives of their children. Just how capable are you to do that with with all this work?
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah. I think my firstborn got the best of me. In fact, I was just discussing with my kids the other day.
Right.
Like she got the best of me. I was there doing all the homework, everything. And then for my middle kid, almost, you know, now in the middle of career, everything, you are very busy. I relaxed in supervising. Then the last born, I've tried also to be there for him more. Yeah, but it's not easy. I think I've neglected some of my duties. And you know, you also have a husband to take care of. And sometimes like you are leaving, I have a show, or, you know.
It's quite understanding. He must.
Yes, yeah, so he understands, but it's not easy. And sometimes you have also your farm to take care of, you have a business to take care of. So some things have to give in. So that's what has been happening in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you take lots of counseling sessions if need be? I mean, I can imagine the people you deal with and the frustrations, and they all want to pour the frustrations on you and all that. Is it necessary to do a bit of
I think
counseling sessions?
mental health is good for everyone. If you are experiencing difficulties, to go through counseling when it's necessary. But I just thank God that despite all those difficult situations, I think the work and keeping yourself busy keeps you going. And also just talking to people around you, trying to share your story with someone. In fact, I think when you talk about a problem, it's half solved. And that is part of counseling and healing. Yes.
All right. Let's go back to family a bit. You know, back basically extended and nuclear and all that. Just how, you know, instrumental have they been in contributing to your growth to this level? Or have they been the kind who would actually perhaps just try to lag you behind, just that you're a superwoman and therefore you have to push and go beyond?
Family has been, I think, a big source of inspiration. I will start from my dad. My dad, he was a teenager. In fact, he was in Form 2 when I was born. My mom was a teenager. She was in Class 5. But they inspired me that just teenage parents raising a kid.
Are you the firstborn child?
Yes, I'm the firstborn.
Oh,
yes.
interesting.
And every time I could look at my mom, she was like, if I could go back to school, I'd work very hard, because she was living in very difficult times. We used to go with her to take up lines, you know, applying for people. We could sell things on the market to raise some money. So she's one of the women, like superwoman, who encouraged me to be more stronger and always keep working hard and looking for more. And then my siblings, they used to look at my report. Every time I come home, they're like, how have you performed? So you have to be their leader. And they've been also supporting me throughout my career journey. When I went to do my master's, one of my sisters came with me to take care of my babies as I pursued my studies. You know, you are outside the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now when I have my in-laws on the other side, I would say they've been very supportive. My mother-in-law was like the best. God, may the Lord rest her soul, because she passed on. Even my parents also passed on. But I know they were all inspirational into my journey where I am.
How much have you contributed into perhaps the growth of your siblings, the people who are behind you, maybe professionally? You know, there's always so much pressure when the firstborn child, or perhaps the one who's ahead, is faring on pretty well.
Well, it's pressure. I mean, some of them, they have been living in my shadow for the longest.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's hard to get them off my shadow. But I have success stories. I think I've come to believe that every kid is gifted in their own way. So there are those who, one of them has become a doctor, Dan. Another one, she's a nurse, Gentrix, practicing at Kenyatta Hospital.
Okay.
I also have an engineer in the home. He did biomedical engineering, Robert. I have a DJ in the home.
All right.
Brian. I have one who did media studies. Yeah, another one did just driving. So another one did plumbing. So we are all, it's just a mix of everything. Another one did, she did secretarial job. Now she wants to go and study something in medicine. So I've given them, I don't know, a lot of, they feel like I'm their biggest competitor.
Right.
And it's been hard, because I told them I have to set the pace. So you guys, you just have to follow. So there are those who follow, there are those who've fallen off the way, but that is how nature is.
Such is life. I hope we have mentioned all of them, otherwise they will be on your neck.
I know that.
10 of them.
There are 10 of them.
10 plus you, or
no,
10?
No, 10,
9
all of us, 9 plus
9
me.
plus you.
Yeah.
Well, all right, interesting.
So,
must be quite a bubbly family right there. And the ladies are watching you today, and those ones that are in the medical field, they are perhaps asking, just how then have you come in to use your platform to advocate for diversity and inclusion that is in this space? Or perhaps things are just aligning themselves?
No, I can actually say, since I entered this cancer space, oncology space, there are a lot of women. In fact, we are overcoming the men. I look at University of Nairobi master class of oncology, it's full of women. So I am glad that I've inspired a lot of women to join oncology, and many more will come. And we are here to fight. We have space at the table. Yes.
All right. What is this, again, apart from what has played out maybe in lives of specific individuals, but basically in that space of medicine in the country, is that this encounter that has gotten you feeling like, you know, you have created a positive impact, that this one will be widely remembered? And I have to acknowledge and appreciate the fact that you're always on television, always on radio, always out there giving information to the people.
Yes. I think success is not the money, but success is the lives you inspire. And I think I have succeeded in that aspect. I've inspired women and men into medical space. I've inspired patients who had lost hope in life, and God restored life again after treatment for cancer. And I've inspired not only locally, but globally. And even just having a cancer center, I think it has gone down into history. Being the first woman radiation oncologist, it also goes down into history. And I believe in myself that I always try to give my best. And I think that is my inspiration.
How was it when this was officially declared that you were the first woman? How did you get to know of it and you know, stamp that aspect of authority in the country?
So, I mean, you know, oncology is a very young specialty in our country. For me, I had to go overseas, but currently now we are even training in Kenya. So when I went into that department, you hardly see women in this field. They were scared of oncology. But getting in and being encouraged and seeing that actually men are doing it and women can do it. So I was ready, and I'm just grateful. I think God also puts, there's the right time for everything, and I'm grateful God put me in that position to be the first radiation oncologist woman in Kenya. It was, I think, by chance and by hard work, and it was just a way of inspiring other women to come to that field.
As a trailblazer, how do you constantly get them engaging, get them understanding that it's fine? It's a male-dominated space, but you know, the space is big, the cake is big. Even the woman can confidently get into that space without getting some of these biases, gender biases for that matter.
It's really to tell them that it takes steps. And every little thing you do adds up. So we should not shy away. It is doable. It is not hard. Others have done it, so even women can do it. What a man can do, a woman can do better. Yes.
All right. Beautiful. And they're watching you tonight.
Thank you.
And they are thinking now, I am in this space, I would want to get into medicine. I am skeptical. Maybe my grades, maybe money, and all that. What would be this word of advice?
Everyone has a talent. Everyone has a talent. It is just you to identify what is your talent. Sometimes you don't see it, but people around you can see it. And if they can see it, take that opportunity and do it best.
So is it.
If it's education, you don't have school fees, I'm sure in that community, if you are a kid who is working hard, the teachers can recommend you to someone who can help you. So it's not about the money. It's about you, the person. What can you do? We have government bursaries. Me, I'm a product of government bursary. University of Nairobi, my parents couldn't afford it, but I got a help loan and I studied. So it is possible.
Right.
Yes.
Again, as a trailblazer, perhaps, you know, as you walk the journey, the fast, you do, you step on this point, you say perhaps maybe if we put something here, the next person who will step better. If you are to look at this space of, you know, oncology and, you know, see the interests that are within, see the challenges that are within, what are some of the things that you'd want to see change so that then the space is safer, is open, is comfortable for the women and even the men that come after you?
I think more, I would say, like there are some opportunities there, which people do not want to grab them. One needs to identify an opportunity and grab. And then oncology is constantly changing. Bigger and better things are coming. So you have to open your eyes, open your ears, see, watch around you. As you're working in Kenya, think globally. That you can go out there, learn what they are doing, bring it to Kenya.
Right.
Go to America, see what they are learning, what they are doing there, bring it to Kenya. There's always an opportunity. And our country is very young, it is growing, and the opportunities are unlimited. So it is all about the motivation and how bad do you want it? How hard do you want to work? Because if there's a job to be done, it won't be done unless you do it. So you have to do it.
You have to do it. And I'm
Yes.
glad that you say that people should match up and, adjust with how life is adjusting. Emerging trends, the coming in of artificial intelligence, the coming in of technology. I remember recently we were talking about how best we can advance the health sector in the country. And I know this is also a push by government, digitize almost all the services and all that is being offered by, hospitals and facilities out here. There seem to be some bits of reservations as to this growth and the changes of trend. How are you, in particular, matching up to what is happening, in the field of oncology, in the field of basically health in the country, such that even the ones that are coming up will learn from you equally as you learn from them?
I've seen oncology evolve a lot in the past 20 years. I've been working in that space. And artificial intelligence is knocking on the door. It's actually here, whereby it makes life easier for the doctors, and it even improves in the accuracy. So it is something that we need to embrace. As doctors, we also need to be computer literate. We'll have to take computer classes. You have to move with the wind, because change is constant. Things are constantly changing, and we all have to change. Because if you don't change, you'll be left behind.
Right.
And AI, it's the in thing. I can even speak for radiation oncology. Nowadays, I put a patient through the scanner to check where the cancer is, put the films into a planning system, and AI will take over. They will map out where's the tumor, how will we radiate this part that has the disease. They do that all for you, and all you do is just verify that, yes, this is the correct thing. So, and as a country, we have a lot of data. People are now calling it the big data. So there's so much interest out there to see what is there in Kenya, what are the common cancers, how can AI be used to improve on how treatment is delivered. AI is even being used to determine what kind of chemotherapy should I give for this type of cancer, because there are multiple things. After looking at the pathology, everything is put into the computer, and AI can do that. But all the same, as we have these advances of AI, the human touch also has to come in. Like you have a computer will do what you tell it to do. So garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah. All right, and here we are, and the cases of cancer continue to rise in the country, unfortunately. The concerns of, treatment, care, and all that are always shooting up, and, in the negative for that matter. Why is it that we appear to be making progress, yet as though we are as well, stepping behind in relation to addressing some of these concerns? And I understand very well that it is more of a global challenge, but what will it take for us as a country to advance such that we won't have to send our patients, to India, so that we won't have to lose lives, so that we won't have to see people losing so much money, losing property, just so they can treat their own?
Cancer is a multi-sectorial disease that a lot of sectors have to come in together and support the government in trying to fight this cancer. We have human resource, so we need to train medical personnel. We have to invest in infrastructure. Cancer infrastructure is not cheap. It's quite expensive, so we need to buy state-of-the-art equipment. We also need to get affordable medication in the country, even move to manufacturing, because India are way ahead of us because of manufacturing. They make their own medicine. But in Kenya, we import almost all the cancer medication, and that pushes the cost very high. So those are things we need to do. If we look at use of tobacco, alcohol, those are things we need to create awareness that people should limit using those things. And awareness, creating awareness, people need to know about what are the common cancers, what are the symptoms, and they go for timely treatment. Insurance, I know there's the shift that is coming in. So people need to embrace that a healthcare insurance is very important.
Yeah.
So in times when you are sick, you don't dig into your pocket to pay for treatment, but the health insurance can support you in that aspect. And
lots of talk in relation to that.
Yes.
You suppose that as a country, that's the right trajectory?
Yeah, I mean, every change has its own challenges, but I think we are on the right track, but it's only time that will tell.
Only time will tell.
Yes.
We haven't spoken about your laws, and are there times that maybe you have felt like, and I'll tell you, even in my own career, there are times I thought, maybe I should have thought otherwise. Maybe I should have taken something else. Maybe I should take a stop and figure out what I need to do with my life. Maybe I should stop and go to farming fully and all that. Have you had such experiences?
Definitely I've had, because we are all human, we make mistakes. I've made wrong decisions in some cases, which I've had to pay.
Yeah.
And there are times you feel very down, very depressed. You can be withdrawn, but you always just have to pick up your pieces and move on, because that is how life is. You will never have it smooth all the way.
Right.
Yeah, you should be ready for the ups and downs. So I'm ready for it.
Your lowest moments, maybe in life generally, of course, and maybe in that space, in your own field?
Okay, in life, I mean, I've gone through
Very many
heartbreaks,
yeah,
many, and yeah, so it's normal. I've also lost a lot of patients through cancer, friends, parents. I've lost a sibling also. So it's not easy. Life is like that. So I go through those kind of moments.
What is it like looking at your patients? You probably have walked them through the journey, have given them hope that you need not to worry, you will be fine. And then they look at you in the eye and things are not fine, and perhaps you have to lose them.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, we all live once, and when it's your day, sometimes it comes, it has come, and there's nothing you can do. So I feel very sad having walked a journey with a cancer patient.
Yeah.
And some of them change conditions suddenly, and they are no more.
Yeah.
So it is sad. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like now I just want to take off this lab coat and go home. I don't want anyone to call me. You've been in constant encouraging everything, giving treatment, and things have happened. So I just go, but I remember that there are still other people needing you. So you just have to go back and work and pray that God gives you strength to continue serving humanity, because if God sent me to do this, then I have to continue doing. I always say it's not over until it's over.
It's over. Do you suppose you've had the privilege of being the first, woman, and therefore you have been allowed to do a lot of mistakes that, perhaps the brunt is not as tough as it would have been, or maybe you'd have wished for you to have come after somebody else has already walked that journey?
Yeah. I've had those kind of moments. Yeah, being the first, some things you walk in and it's like walking into a marriage. No one tells you everything.
Lots of culture shocks.
Yes, you have to learn these things. So a business is like that. yeah, you make mistakes. You get in, you take loans and you are not able to pay, and we are like, what? You have suppliers, you are struggling, you have salaries, you are struggling. It's like, I think I should have just been left with my job, and I don't worry about anything else. So I've had those kind of times, but you still have to do it. Like, you just have to keep fighting, because if you give up, then you lose everything. But if you keep on being persistent, when I went to National Youth Service, we were taught about endurance.
You went to NYS as well?
Yes, I was in NYS. Okay. So endurance, stamina, you have to build those.
Right.
And those things can help you go through life.
All right, so here we are at, and great strides. One would actually comfortably sit down and say, you know what? I think I have lived life. I have achieved what I would want to achieve. Do you still have goals that you look to achieve? Do you still have plans for the future? Just how humongous are they now that you say you do not intend to march into politics?
Yeah, I still have plans. I still have a family to raise, and yeah, some of my children are young, so I have dreams of supporting their education. I have dreams of sustaining the hospital and maybe taking it to the next level. I also have dreams of I'm doing research. So I have dreams of like seeing my research, how will it impact on, I'm doing women cancer research, research related to cancers in women. So I want to see what it brings in future, the changes in life it brings. So I still have unfinished business in life. So
are you the kind of mother who would push your child to maybe the space that you're in, or maybe try to dictate what they should do?
I've given up dictating.
Oh, yeah.
I've accepted.
You have tried a couple of times?
Yes.
With your siblings?
Yes, with my siblings. Now with my children, you should imagine the firstborn, at least she went into medical related field. Okay. But the ones in between, one is going to do art, and he's like, Mom, I don't want medicine, I'm going into art. Said, okay. Okay. Yeah. There's also one who is championing to be a footballer. So you see, it's all diverse. So yeah. I appreciate God. I think that diversity, even in the family, it is very important that everyone should chase their little dreams, because that is how it is.
Well, Dr. Catherine Nyongesa, the founder and as well the boss of the Cancer Texas Center right here in the country, important, the first female.
It's radiation oncologist.
You know, these ones are heavy words, but then again also we are glad that it's a woman that is holding some of these titles. It's not been an easy space, being or coming from a patriarchal society, but indeed a message of hope that we are soldiering on. As we come to a close, what would you tell the people who are watching you tonight?
Yes, keep watching TV47.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes,
and
I've seen, yes, and her say, yes, because there's a lot in store that is coming. And I also thank all of you for championing the fight against gender-based violence. Yeah, and really also thank everyone for watching us tonight. Yeah. Yes.
Does it ever cross your mind just how much you're appreciated in this country? Do you ever sit down and think about that?
I think I just get humbled when I hear such things, because I think small little efforts is what has brought me where I am. Yeah. And I'm grateful for everything. I just don't take it for granted. Yes.
Keep at it, Daktari. Thank you so much for choosing to share your story with us, but of importance also sharing your life with these numerous patients out there that always look up to get your services. It's at this very point that we close it on Her Say, as we look forward to see you again tomorrow. And of course, we'll also be having an incredible conversation that you will learn of as we continue. Of course, also keep it on our socials. I mean, if you were just joining us, you need not to worry because we have this running on our social media platforms, and certainly it's been a very pretty much simple conversation, but with a lot of weight as to just telling you or reminding you that everything is possible, and especially as we speak to the ladies. My name is Linda Alela, and I would love to wish you a beautiful, beautiful